You ready? My name is Brian Barczyk. I'm no zoologist, just a guy with a passion for animals. You like my eyelashes? Do you like that? This is my first ever trip to the continent of Africa. On one hand, I have no idea what to expect, but on the other hand, hopes and expectations are running very high for some amazing encounters with people and animals in this beautiful country of South Africa. My first stop is to find some snakes. I love all animals so much, but I have a special affinity for snakes, and I can't wait to meet Warren Klein of Bushveld Reptiles and find out how the people of South Africa live with these awesome animals. Hey, Warren, how are you, man?
How's it, Brian?
It's good to see you again.
Welcome to South Africa.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you. I can't wait to see your snakes, man. You got such cool stuff.
Great, man. But listen, we will get to that, but we've just got a call from the neighbor, and there's a snake on the neighbor's property. We should go over there first, if that's all right with
That
you.
sounds absolutely fantastic.
Great.
Let's do it.
Let's go. We've got the gear in the car
cool.
ready.
I'm so excited about this. So, Warren, is it pretty common in this area to get these calls about snakes?
Yeah, there's a variety of species out in the Bushveld region, so it is quite common. But of course, a very dangerous situation in a confined space like a hut like this. Is there a snake here?
Yeah, the snake here.
Can you see it?
It's a big snake. I don't know what
Oh
it
yes,
is.
Brian, look, it's a mamba.
I tell you what, Warren, I absolutely love snakes, but I wouldn't want to wake up to this in my rafters. The black mamba is by far one of the most sketchy snakes in all of South Africa. These guys get 9 foot long, they're lightning quick, and really agile animals. Okay, watch out.
Just lift up this, I'll help you there, just to lift that.
Yep, it's coming out. Okay, okay. Woo! Take a look at this, guys. The African black mamba. Woo! What an amazing snake. I've always wanted to catch one of these guys. These guys have neurotoxin as well as some cardiotoxin. There's a good chance you might be dead if you ever get bit by something like this. But they're also the second largest venomous snake in the world, only after the king cobra. You've always got to be on your toes with mambas. And I really want to show you guys the technique that we're going to use to bag an animal whenever it's a nuisance removal like this, but I'm not so sure that my experience level for a snake like this is good enough. So I'm going to pass this off to Warren, who works with snakes like this all the time.
I want the snake to actually reverse on its own as it's doing right here. So it actually wants to pull back, and then I just need to pinch it just behind the jaw bones there. Very often people, once they put in the bag, they get bitten through the bag.
Warren gets the snake to bite the bag and release as much venom as possible. And take a look at that gorgeous black mouth. This is one of the trickiest things, guys, is because you're literally using your offhand. And Warren's going to show you in 1 second how during bagging like this, you actually have to switch hands in order to be safe. So
that's the dangerous part there.
Here, I'll get this back in.
So you can just hold the body so it just helps so it doesn't jerk so much. I have to get a pinch grip just in the right position behind its jaws there. You're going to still hold the body and support it for me. And I'm going to pull this bag through.
Now this is the sketchy part because at some point you can no longer see the animal. So you have to just trust your grip.
They often will stick the fang through the bottom of the bag too.
Okay, so I'm gonna twist this, and now that we have it secured, we know the snake can't get out of the bag anymore. I'm in no area around that animal whatsoever, so there's no way that I can get bit through the bag. Make sure you tie it really good too, right, Warren?
Yes, you don't want this getting out again.
My heart's still pumping. That black mamba was absolutely a pleasure to work with, but mambas aren't the only snake in South Africa that people have to deal with. So we're gonna take a look at some puff adders and a cobra. So what we have here is the puff adder, certainly one of the snakes in Africa that is responsible for a tremendous amount of bites, and in certain parts of Africa, a lot of fatalities as well. But these are a local variety, right, Warren?
Yes, these are both local from the Limpopo province.
What's interesting is that they basically don't move a whole lot.
See, we're sitting right here and these snakes haven't moved. They're just relying on their camouflage right now.
And they have lightning quick strikes, right?
Yes.
One of the quickest striking snakes on the planet.
And it is a good thing that they will actually hiss at you. That's where they get their common name puff adder, because if they feel they're going to get trodden on, they will often puff up and hiss, and that's a good thing. Similar to a rattlesnake rattling its tail.
Now, there's a handful of things that I think is so fascinating with puff adders. Number one, that kind of crazy movement, almost like caterpillar movement. These guys will literally crawl in a straight line rather than the normal, snake type thing. I wouldn't suggest anyone to do what we're going to do right now, but Warren, I know that you're a pro. I mean, is there any way that you can show us those teeth? But be very careful,
I can do that, yes. I'm actually just rolling the stick forward so I get a good grip, and I need my index finger on top of the head. I'll just position myself. You have to be so careful with the puff adder because they've got such long maneuverable fangs that they can twist, and they'll even stick a fang right through their bottom jaw. You can see I'm sort of pulling the skin slightly back on the top of the head, and that just gives a little bit more control, less mobility for them.
Look at those fangs.
Completely hollow, so these are long fangs able to get to the fur and feathers of the prey that they eat. To basically start the digestion process from inside, as well as their stomach juices from the outside.
Oh my gosh, those are like little hypodermic needles of death. I mean, that's just unbelievable.
They're still in the sheath of skin there, but you get an idea for the size of them. And look, it just squirted out venom there.
Yeah.
Now, the same thing with putting them down can be very dangerous. You have to feel which way they're turning because it actually can spin around and bite the hand that was holding them. So you have to be prepared for that.
Tell you what, Warren, that was pretty incredible. That is just, oh my gosh, can you imagine that? What a beautiful snake, too. And these guys kind of remind me a little bit of the Australian death adder, right? Is this like the African version of the death adder?
Well, you could say that, but puff adders were doing it first. I reckon we can just leave these guys here.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's get on their way.
I got sprayed with some puff adder venom while Warren was handling it, but how cool would it be to meet a snake that spits venom on purpose? Check out this Mozambique spitting cobra.
So Warren, one of the animals that is responsible for some bites here in this part of the country is the Mozambique spitting cobra, correct?
That's right.
Underneath here, we actually have one of these culprits, right?
We have one waiting. The interesting thing about spitters is most snakes don't use their venom for defense, but spitters are the exception to the rule, where they will spit and use their venom for defense.
Exactly, and this is what I want to do, is I want to actually showcase what that actually looks like. So, you ready to put some eye goggles on?
Do that.
All right, and I'm going to use this this piece of plastic here to kind of help shield me a little bit so we can hopefully get a really good spit. So, you ready to do this?
Let's go for it.
All right, ready? So as I move around, it's keying in right on my eyes, and it's gonna spit every time it wants to get me away from it. Now, what's interesting about this is you can see how far and how accurate that spit is. But look at this, now I've stopped, it completely isn't looking at me anymore. That's an amazing, amazingly intelligent snake. That is a lot of venom right there. Whew. You guys see this right here? This whole plate is just covered with venom. Just think. That would all be in my eyes if I didn't have eye protection in this shield. And I gotta be honest with you, my heart rate is up about 3 times normal level just getting that close and seeing that venom spit. Holy cow, now that was an awesome experience. I tell you, dude, I could spend every day of my life this way. This is just so awesome.
Great, isn't it?
I love Africa so much.
I couldn't have asked for a better first day in South Africa, but we're just getting started.
So there's so many interesting animal stories all over South Africa.
Today I'm heading to Bambalela, which is a vervet monkey rehabilitation facility. Their mission statement is to take in orphaned or injured vervet monkeys, rehabilitate them, and eventually release them back into the wild. Let's go learn about some monkeys.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hello.
Hi, Brian.
I'm Belinda.
Hi, Belinda.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Dean. It's awesome being. Thank you guys for having me. I can't wait to see what you have in store for me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's go show you all our monkeys.
Sounds good. So, Dean, tell me what brought you to this wonderful monkey place.
Just the passion for wildlife. I've always wanted to work with animals somewhere along the line. And you know what, now's my chance.
Yeah. So what's the end goal? I mean, what are you trying to shoot for?
I want to get my FOGASA, my Field Guide Level 1, which is you take people on tours through the bush, teach them about the animals, educate them.
So obviously the handicap camp is probably one of the more emotional things to see here. I mean, tell me a little bit about like just what exactly this is and who's going to end up here.
Well, this is obviously the camp where we keep all the monkeys that have come in with serious injuries, missing arms, missing legs, tails, some epileptic, some being shot and having brain damage, that type of stuff. So they will come into this camp.
And I noticed that, you know, this guy here looks like he's blind. I mean, it's just a little guy.
Yeah,
What
that's
happened?
little Liam or Tatum. His mom was shot with a shotgun, and the shrapnel damaged part of his brain and gave him a bit of brain damage, and he's also blind, completely blind.
Now, do you notice that some of the other monkeys in here will kind of take care of him? Or they find, you know,
Yes,
form
definitely.
bonds?
As you said earlier, they form bonds with each other. As you can see now, little Jamie is sitting there with him, just to give him that extra comfort that he's in a safe place, that he doesn't have anything to worry about. And I think she's become his closest friend. We do tours as well where we try and educate people that monkeys don't make good pets because they start ranking the family. People are going to get injured. You might be sitting at the hospital every night with your injured child or yourself.
I agree with you. These guys belong in the wild, and what you guys are doing here is amazing. So, Dean, this is awesome. Let's go look at some other stuff. Keep up the good work. I tell you, it's really weird how life takes you on strange adventures. And here I am in Bambalela, just surrounded by a bunch of really cool little vervet monkeys. Tell me something. How long have you been with Bambalela?
I've been working here now 6 years.
6 years. And we're obviously in the nursery, right? So tell me what this special room's all about.
This is where all the babies are orphaned. They don't have moms any longer, so we hand raise them.
That's the thing I love about Bambalela so much is that eventually all of these are going to end up back where they belong in the wild.
Yes, that's what our aims are, to get these guys back into the wild. You enjoying yourself?
This is absolutely, I tell you, this is absolutely amazing. What a great time. So these guys are really vocal as well. That's one of the things that's really interesting about they have warning calls for different guys. So tell me a little bit about that.
When there's an eagle in the sky, they have a certain alarm they make. All of them will jump to the ground and hide under the bushes. When there's a snake on the ground, they all will go up high in the trees, and they have a certain alarm for that. And then they also have a leopard call they make. If it's a leopard would climb in the trees, and they'll go as high as possible, and on the thinnest branch they can find.
Well, you guys obviously have developed an amazing relationship.
They talk to us as well if you are the mom. They have a mommy ID call as well. So they'll call for that certain person.
Bite my eyeball.
Get your eyelashes.
You like my eyelashes? Do you like that? Being around all these monkeys brought out the inner monkey in me for sure. But none of this would be here if it weren't for the founder of Bambalela, Silke van Inern, who moved from Germany to South Africa with her late husband many years ago. How long have you been doing the vervet monkeys then?
Vervet monkeys now from 2005, so it's not 10 years.
10 years, wow. How large is your area here?
Bambalela is really small compared to, South African-wise in size, but coming from Europe originally, this is huge.
Yeah.
It's almost 40 hectare.
If one day I could own a couple mountains, I would be happy.
That's why I said for me it's wow, but for here they don't classify it really as a big farm or.
Well, it's still really great work that you're doing here. And do you have, is there future plans for anything else, or is this it? I mean, are you happy with what you have now?
I think I found my true calling, and that was when the vervet found me.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. It's my life. I dedicate it. It's not a job as such, because it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
And I just love it.
Before long, it was time to say goodbye to Bambalela. I could tell the crew didn't want to leave, and the monkeys had gotten used to us as well. That cheeky little booger, he didn't want to give the camera back. Silke, this has been amazing. Bambalela is a beautiful place. I can't thank you enough for showing me your world. This has been a great day. Thank you so much.
Your arm shows it there.
My love of animals. Give me a hug, right? All right, thank you. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, great having you. Bye.
Bambalela certainly was not a disappointment. I sure am happy that they allowed me to come and play with those little cute monkeys. But there's so much more animal adventures ahead of us in South Africa.
We're finally on the way to meet one of Africa's big five. Few things will tug at my heart like the massive and majestic African elephant. I want to see how they're doing living alongside people. So Sean, we're here at Adventures with the Elephants. Tell me a little bit first about how this started.
Brian, we got our first Ellies way back in 1988. They came from culling operations, and my dad wanted just to have them on our farm, and we landed up with them as pets, and that was how it all started.
You were 7, so you
Yeah.
grew up around Ellies the whole
Yeah.
time. These are elephants that were going to be called because they're a little naughty.
Others had actually done a lot of damage. They'd killed rhino, killed buffalo, turned over vehicles, so absolute problem animals.
How do we solve that issue?
Give them land.
Give them land.
They were here long before us,
Yes.
and we were overpopulating at an incredible rate of knots. We need to curb that and give them back their land and their space, and then we'll sort of stop that.
Ellies they're such a highly intelligent animal, and that's one of the things that you guys do here is show the memory, the retention, the ability to think almost like we do. And touchdown! They seem to create a bond with the keepers as well.
Yeah, the guys are feeding them during the night and looking after them at night time. So yeah, we have guys with them 24/7.
Okay, ask her to jump.
Big jump. Big one.
That's not a big jump, Unity.
Big jump.
She can also dance. She likes R&B music, eh? Okay, ask her to dance.
Let's dance.
So I'm here with Musina, the 11-year-old female elephant that is absolutely gorgeous. And we're gonna give her a little bit of food. What a majestic animal. Trunk up. Trunk up, trunk up. Ah, yes. Look at that. Oh, what an amazing animal, huh? Whew. She is absolutely gorgeous.
So these guys, they run sense of smelling, a sense of hearing. The eyesight is poor. They've got more rods than cons. They can see better during the night. During the day, they can see a distance of 70 meters. Then the rest is black and white. Okay, America versus South Africa. Okay, you can slow Jim, just hold on. Okay, ready? Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm scoring. So it's very important in this type of setting to make sure that they can check the pads, these fiberelastic pads of the elephant, just to make sure that there's nothing in there. And of course, each elephant has a completely different footprint, so you can tell them apart. I tell you what, there's quite a bit of weight. When she wants to pull away, there's no way I'm stopping her.
Well done. Good girl. Well done.
Good job. Now it's time to see how smart these elephants really are. Elephants have a keen sense of smell. These Ellies are trained to track men and help hunt for poachers. To see this skill in action, I rolled around in the grass to leave my scent and then ran off deep into the bush to hide. Sean sets off with a herd of elephants to find my location. Sean gave me a couple oranges so that I could reward the elephants when they found me. And before long, they found me. Good job. There you go. Good job. So Sean, Adventures with Elephants is an amazing, amazing thing. And the thing that I probably appreciate the most is the hands-on part of this place. I mean, as humans, we need to touch to love and feel. So I really appreciate that approach that you're bringing.
No problem. I'm glad that we could reach out, and I think the Ellies actually did the touching to you. So hopefully you, walk away with a completely different understanding.
I've got to imagine that anyone that comes here experiences it has to take away a new appreciation for these beautiful animals.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, you can look at one on TV, you can look at one in the national park, but until you've got up close and actually got to know an elephant, then you walk away with a completely mind blown.
Yeah, and I'm mind blown right now. They're becoming more and more rare as time goes on, correct?
With all the poaching and things that are happening in the country or in Africa, they're actually now getting more and more tuskless elephant being born. And that's just the genetic that's going that way because
Yeah.
of humans.
Because of humans, yeah, the more tusk, the more ivory, the more potential for poaching. So, well, Sean, keep up the good work. I love
Very,
it
very
here.
cool to meet you.
Thank you
and,
so much.
go well.
It's always an amazing adventure touring around a country like South Africa. There's so many wildlife opportunities and adventures to be had. Today I'm up in Waterberg at a place called Predator Park. It's really another one of those cool little places that is all about education, to kind of teach people about conservation and to get up close. So when we're going out in the wild and seeing these animals in the bush, before we're gonna get a chance to get a little bit up close and have some interaction and personal experiences. So Anal, what exactly is the mission statement here at Predator Park?
For us, it's to educate people about South African predators.
Yes.
People have the perception of all predators are vicious animals. For us, it's just showing them they have personalities. They're special animals. And to teach children, this is going to be our future. They need to look after them. Come and meet Natur and Karatara.
Oh, yeah, I tell you, it's always a pleasure to get to see one of the big fives. Take a look at this, guys.
That's
Oh,
our female. This is Karatara. Kom Karatara, put your hand flat. Say, kom Karatara.
Hi. It's so cool when they lick you because they have that really abrasive tongue and, oh, it's so neat.
The male is now
look at how beautiful.
3 years old.
I notice he has a little bit of a tail thing.
He was born like that.
Okay.
The first 3 joints were fused together. So we struggled in the first 3 months to get him to climb, and now he's a healthy leopard.
Gosh, they're so amazing. I noticed as we're walking over here, we have some
Servals.
yes, little servals over here. Shakira.
Come, Shakira.
I always love going inside cages. That's my favorite part of this job. What do we have here?
This is our serval. Our female, her name is Shakira,
They are really super cats, aren't they, with those big ears?
and they're also now on the endangered species list.
And is that from Habitat?
Habitat, people, population, developments.
Oh, sorry, Shakira. I'm sorry. Stay with us, Shakira. Look at those big eyes, too, huh?
Yes.
It's like you said, it's almost like a 1.5 or 2 times size house cat, but with amazing spots. So, Anel, I've been really excited and interested to this particular experience because you have some hyenas here, and of course the female's a little cheeky, so we've got her set aside, but we're gonna go in and get a real up-and-close personal experience with a male hyena, huh?
Yes.
All right, let's do this. This sounds like amazing. This is what I live for.
Meet the shorter.
All right.
Down.
Look at that female over here. She's so pretty. One of the things
Oh.
that's...
Thanks,
of course,
Moses.
Moses is joining us, the friendly otter. The hyenas are best friends.
Yeah, they were raised together.
Why was LaShorta raised with Moses, the otter?
Moses was a rescued otter.
Okay.
So they brought him when he was a baby, and that was the time I had Lashata. So they were both raised in the nursery, and that's why they became friends. People get the perception of it's a bad animal,
Yep.
and they are not. They're super friendly, they have personalities, and they're not stinky animals. There's 11 voice calls that they have. So with them, you have the one that they will come and talk to you, then you know it's a friendly one, and then they will smile. And then you get the aggressive one that you know when the tail is picking up, you know there's danger. And then start laughing when they attack.
It's just so interesting to be inside a cage with these guys.
Yeah, you
They're
want
so
to-
playful.
There you go.
Oh, there you
Ooh.
are, LaShorta. How are you?
Kisses.
Hello. Hello. I've always loved hyenas, and it was such a playful little guy. But man, I tell you what, even the playful bites certainly did hurt. I can't imagine if this thing really wanted to bite me. I got you. Oh. My visit to Predator Park wouldn't be complete without meeting another one of the big five, the African lion. people care about what they can touch and feel and love. To get up and close, you have a better understanding than seeing it just on TV or seeing it from a long distance away.
Hallo, Stian. Sit. Sit.
Not that I recommend actually getting into the pen with one of these guys. Anel has a special bond with these lions, having raised most of them since they were cubs.
This is the first baby I raised. He's now 5 years old.
How old was he when you got him?
10 days.
So this was your first baby, and you have several pens I see. And these guys are obviously extremely special. These, of course, are the white lions.
She's our pregnant lioness.
She's our pregnant lioness. Oh my gosh. Now, when is she due?
Due in the next few hours.
Next few hours.
Few
Oh my
days.
God.
So it's close.
So you're gonna have little baby.
And we can't
White
wait.
lions.
So that would be the first white lions born on this farm.
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. And of course, white lions are a genetic mutation. So you bred white lion to white lion.
Yes.
So all the babies should come out white lions.
We hope so. We will see.
I've got to imagine in the nighttime and in the mornings, it's got to be amazing to live on the property and just hear that guttural roar of a lion, right?
Awesome. Every time they talk, it's the best sound in Africa.
Anel, this was an amazing day. I can't thank you enough for having me out and just continue to do these amazing things you're doing with animals.
Thank you for visiting us.
Give me a hug. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work, okay?
Thank you.
We'll be back for sure.
Bye.
How awesome would it be to encounter 2 of the big 5 in the wild? That's just what happened next, and I couldn't believe it. We came up on a family of lions and a large herd of Cape buffalo. We watched as the 2 adult lions, male and female, stalked the trailing ends of the buffalo herd, leaving ample room between them for the youngsters to charge in, as if ready to take down one of the big boys. The young lions practiced sneaking and charging, and practiced the critical skills of recognizing and avoiding the defense moves of their massive prey. Neither predator nor prey seemed to even notice our presence. We stayed very quiet and very still. In the end, no kill was made. The herd moved on and the lions vanished into the tall grass. I felt beyond privileged to have witnessed such an intimate moment with a family of lions.
I'm here at Diktari Bush School, where underprivileged children come for an entire week from the local communities to learn about wildlife. In that time, we hope that they'll take those lessons back to their local villages and share with others. What better way to do that than through the eyes of children? Michelle, tell me a little bit about Diktari and where it started and what the vision of this school was all about.
When I started to hand raise animals, and we met a little boy, we found out very quickly that he had no idea of what wildlife and environment was. So we took a group of local kids to a rehab center so they can see the animals that are part of their environment. And there was such a great interest from the children that we thought, now we can't stop there because they need to know what is their heritage and how they can benefit from it. That's how it started.
Now, how long has Diktari been around?
It will be 10 years.
10 years.
Yes.
And so the idea is to bring in local kids from communities to teach them about wildlife, and they stay here for a whole 5 days, right?
We pick them up on the Monday morning and they stay with us until Friday afternoon. We focus on environmental lessons, also goes through general skill, politeness, social issues like violence, safe sex, drug abuse.
And it's interesting because you do have international volunteers here.
Anybody can volunteer from, let's say, 18 to the oldest one, I think, was 80.
Oh my gosh, you had an 80-year-old volunteer. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So this is the banded mongoose, right? You guys remember their names? So you see this guy that's right now with the dark fur? That's Leon.
You guys just got here today? Yeah? You having any fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? That's good. Well, we'll hopefully have fun together. We'll learn some things about animals.
These kids were extremely polite, but also shy. Every time I'd ask them a question, they would just answer with one word. They're not looking at me as somebody that they can open up to. So I thought to myself, how can I break that barrier down? I noticed there was a soccer ball sitting there. So I asked them if it's okay if I could go out and play soccer with them for a while, thinking that maybe that would break that barrier down. Having a good time and they're laughing with me. This is exactly what we needed to break the ice. I'm going to play a little game with you guys. This is Lazarus, right? This is what they call a rock monitor. Where I come from, they call them white throat monitors. Okay, and Lazarus here is probably only about halfway grown, so he's going to get about twice the size of what he is right now. And of course, they have that really long tongue. And as you can see, you have to be a little careful with some of these lizards because they do have really strong jaws when they bite, but you don't have to be too careful if you handle them the right way and show them respect, okay? But you guys heard earlier that Lazarus makes a noise when he's defensive, right? And I want you to make the noise. I'm going to see who's louder, okay? All right, boys first, what sound? 1, 2, 3. Girls, 1, 2, 3. All girls win, I think. That's a slam dunk. Does anyone know what Lazarus eats in the wild?
Insects.
Insects? That's a good guess.
It's eggs.
Eggs? They both are right. Come here. Come here. Okay, you ready? Come here, sit down next to me, okay? Watch. Now I'm gonna just do this. Put your hand out like this, right? And watch this. See? Like that. There you go. See what I'm saying? So what you're doing is you're trying not to let Lazarus think that you're gonna hurt him whatsoever. That doesn't mean you should do this with wild animals whatsoever. This can be dangerous, but as long as you respect them, like an animal like Lazarus doesn't have to be feared whatsoever. He's really cool, isn't he? Isn't it neat? See? And hey guys, I want you guys to give a big round of applause. Clap your hands for Steven for being so brave. So I count to 3, I want you guys to scream as loud as you can if a lion is cooler or an elephant's cooler, okay? You ready for this? 1, 2, 3. You guys did a great job. I'm gonna take Lazarus with us, okay? All right.
It's okay. There you go. Did you get to touch him? You want to touch him? It's rough, isn't it?
Okay, let's put Lazarus back, okay, guys? Bye, Lazarus. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. You learned a lot about wildlife, all right? Okay? Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. Finally, we're heading off to the northeastern part of the country to Chikudu Bush Camp in search of the last of the Big Five. Chikudu means rhino in the Swahiana language, and that's just what we're hoping to see. I never expected what happens next. We came upon a family of 4 rhinos, and we hoped to get close enough to study them without spooking them. It turned out the rhinos were just as curious about us as we were about them, and the encounter turned a little too close for comfort. Rhinos have a very poor eyesight, so we stayed low to the ground, trying to blend in with the local bushes.
Oh, relax on these rhino. Awesome.
It's amazing. Running would only escalate the situation, and there was no way either one of us was going to be able to outrun these guys. That's pretty amazing. Oh my gosh, what an experience. As we backed away, Rich kept his quiet and calm voice and would periodically clap his hands at them. Just to let them know we were here and that we weren't going to harm them. The technique worked beautifully, and we were able to walk away with no more than a few extra gray hairs.
That was, I'll get your heart going. Wow, that was amazing.
This way, so we'll leave them be here.
Rich, that was maybe one of the coolest things I've ever done. You know, it's not like I was ever afraid, especially because you were so calm.
Yeah.
That's like a lifetime of experience right there, you know?
You definitely don't want to run out of there because you can make them more upset. They might charge after you then. Give it space, and now they can see they just relaxed again.
You don't have to be the fastest, so
No.
I was behind you, but in this case, I didn't feel all that comfortable because I knew they'd go right through you to me.
Right through both of us,
Rich, well, you did an amazing
Thanks.
job, and this was something I'll talk about the
Oh,
rest
yeah.
of my life.
That's special. I mean, to get that close, it's an opportunity a lot.
A wild rhino, that close. Oh my God, that was awesome. After this incredible experience of looking at rhinos in the wild, I received some upsetting news.
So we're heading onto a property right now for a pretty emotional mission. One of the main reasons I came to South Africa was to really highlight the concerns that I'm having for wildlife here. And there's no bigger concern than rhino poaching. We're about to see a carcass from a rhino that was poached about a week ago.
These magnificent animals are disappearing at an alarming rate. The western black rhino was already declared extinct, and the remaining species are in grave danger for no other reason than a status symbol or their supposed magical powers of their horns.
We've lost 5 rhino in the last 6 days.
5 rhino in the last 6
in a week, basically.
Right.
And it's just getting worse and worse.
Some places like Jakudu are attempting to curb poaching by shaving off the horns before the animals can be killed. This is an expensive and dangerous task that must be repeated as the horns grow back. While tricks like this are helping combat local poaching, the beautiful and unique animals that the rhinos are still at risk of complete annihilation.
In this area, 8 years ago, we had about 300 rhino. Today, there's less than 50. But what has happened is guys have actually just said, because they don't want the risk of armed people coming onto their properties, they don't want the risk of losing their investment, rather than have the issue, let's just get rid of them. These guys must have been following these rhino for a while, because you see this thick grass, you don't see them very
Yeah,
far.
there's no way you're gonna see them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll follow this up and then... So there she is.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't even get the whole horn. If you have a look over here, that's his horn here, and they've even left that on there. Looks like a hacksaw that they've used, and they've just cut it off with a saw. It takes 5 minutes. Most of them have a military background, and they're very good shotters, so minimum sound, maximum time. They'll just be in here, whack, whack, horn off, gone. My feeling is it's not a experienced bunch of guys, because that piece there is still worth $90,000. This piece that they've cut away here, where they retrieved the bullets.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm so freaking choked up right now that an animal that's this amazing can lose its life for something that's so silly, that doesn't do any good for anybody. And to think that, you know, we're seeing the rates of these animals getting taken out higher and higher, several hundred a year, you know. Sean, what do we do from here, man? What's the answers?
Take it to China and tell them that this is rubbish. You know, your panda bears, we don't come poaching your panda bears, leave our rhino alone, you know. So we're trying to raise funds for aerial surveillance so we can put 2 guys up and then fly around during the day and the night, see if anything is happening on the properties.
And that's what we need to get, man. We need to get the right funds in the right people's hands so that they can stop this senseless slaughter of a beautiful species.
And her calf died. They shot her calf through the leg and there was no ways they could save that calf, so they had to put it down.
Give me a minute. Fuck, I hate this, man. That was messed up. Sorry, guys. It just really hit me, man.
I can't even express how just utterly hopeless I felt about that, you know? This just can't happen. It's got to stop. It's ridiculous. Okay, all right, let's get out of here. Jakudu is a magical place, and I wish there was more time to take in all of its beauty. I take full advantage of the time left to walk with Rich again and hang out with one of the area's most famous residents, a cheetah named Ntumbi. So Rich, one of the things that was pretty amazing when we first rolled up to base camp here at Jakudu is the fact that you have a kind of resident guest that comes to greet everybody, right?
Basically, she was rejected by her mother for being the runt. So the mother didn't want her. And so Ntombi was rejected from day one. She was raised in a house, bottle fed. But otherwise, the dog, we had a Labrador that also helped raise her. Basically licked her bum and go to the toilet, sleep within a basket every night. And then after about 6 months, she was around the camp. She went out and joined the mother and the other cubs, and they actually accepted her back, which is quite interesting. That normally doesn't happen. Yeah. Right. So, and they hunted together with the mother for the next few months until she was killed by the wild lions. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. And there's not a whole lot of cheetahs left out there. In South Africa, there's about 500.
Yeah, in South Africa, just under 500 in the wild. I mean, yeah. So there's not many numbers of them.
One of the problems with the cheetahs are the fact that because all across Africa there might be 10,000 still out there, but the gene pool has really shrunk to the point where it's becoming critical for them. And a lot of these animals are being killed because of farmers.
They consider them as vermin. That's right, they kill the livestock, and unfortunately farmers still need to be educated.
A couple fun facts about cheetahs. Obviously, the fastest land animal is short bursts. They definitely don't go
and then they have to have a rest too.
And they're relatively fragile when it comes to predators, aren't they?
Oh yeah, I mean they of the big cats, they one of the weakest. I mean they'll be killed from lion, leopard, hyena, because of competition of food. So they all hate one another, the predators. So yeah, she's quite easy prey for a leopard or lion. It's pretty easy for them to kill her.
So we were greeted by an amazing surprise this morning. Ntumbi's brothers, Floppy and Hunter, showed up. Now these are completely wild cheetahs. They live out in the wild all of the time, but they are habituated to humans, so they're actually allowing us to go out hunting with them. Now with cheetahs, you can always tell when they're ready to hunt because their bellies are going to be very small, and these guys are letting us wander around, so we're hoping we can come across some prey and actually catch these guys in the hunt. Just when I think it's gonna be a fruitless hunt, an impala runs across the way, and Hunter and Floppy take off like the wind. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Within seconds, they had the impala and they were taking it down. They grabbed it by the neck and pulled it to the ground and suffocated it. It may seem a little brutal, but trust me, this is a critical part of nature's life cycle. So we've been hunting all morning with these two male cheetahs. We kind of were tracking through the woods and we came across a group of impala. And within seconds, you could just hear the rumble. We came running over here and they made the kill. It was amazing how fast it happened. By the time we could get over, they were already on top of it. The impala was already dead. I can tell you, nature can sometimes be pretty brutal, but this is survival right here. And there won't be many opportunities when you can get within a meter of a kill with a couple wild cheetahs like this. And what's amazing is that cheetah, they have such a high metabolism that this may seem like an enormous meal for these guys, but within a very short period of time, they'll devour this entire carcass. Their bellies will be completely full. Within a few days, they'll be ready for another hunt. I've seen a lot of crazy things in my life, but when I set out on this journey to South Africa, not in my wildest dreams would I ever imagine that I'd be within an arm's length of a couple wild cheetah having a feast on an impala. These are true amazing stealthy predators. I'm surprised I'm not freaking out right now.
I've always been fascinated by crocodiles, so when I set out on this adventure to South Africa, it was high on my list to get up close and personal to these beautiful creatures. This is a 3-month-old Nile crocodile, and just imagine, this thing is gonna get 2,000 to 3,000 times its size, and it's gonna live over 100 years.
We're heading down to Bengola, to the Jozini Dam, one of the most biodiverse places in South Africa. And because of that, there's a tremendous amount of research going on.
And today, I'll meet up with one of those researchers to get up and close with some monster, real wild crocodiles.
So how many crocodiles are we seeing in this dam right here about?
Just in this inlet section alone, we're getting counts of 230 crocodiles.
Exactly what are we trying to do once we capture them?
So once we capture the crocodile, we want to fit them with ear tags onto the tail. It allows us easy identification for capture mark, recapture analysis.
The idea here is to get out on the water and hopefully catch our first crocodile. As soon as we got here, there was crocodiles basically all over the side banks of this dam. We can get them up on shore, get them down, put some ear tags on them, cut some belly scoops so that in the future, when we find them again, we know exactly what they are, and then you can actually track what locations they're in as well as their growth and size.
Right away after we set out, we see a crocodile,
but we lose it too.
Then I turn to my right and I see another crocodile. We move closer towards it. It runs into the water. And we lose that one too.
There's one right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. Naughty, naughty. Damn it, so frustrating. Now I know I don't go fishing.
We've been going around seeing all these small ones, maybe 2.5 meters long.
They've just been too fast. We cannot catch them.
The sun is starting to fade. We don't have much time left. Fortunately, across the way on the bank, we see one of the dominant bull crocodiles. This is one of the biggest crocs in the entire dam. Mark knows it well, and he said that it's typically not shy. So this might be my opportunity to finally get a crocodile. I thought for sure I got this one. I put the noose out there, I get it right on its nose, and just as I'm getting over its nose, the thing explodes in the water. I'm just crushed. Cannot believe we missed the bull croc. This was our biggest chance. Can't believe he got away.
They're here. Just gotta find them.
I had a pretty sleepless night. All I thought about was that last opportunity to catch that dominant bull croc. That was the one that got away, and I'm gonna get it today. There it is, we finally spotted him. My heart's beating. We gotta get it this time. If we can intersect him just as the water is getting deep, maybe we can get the noose around him and actually capture this one. He just starts death rolling. It's complete mayhem. It's crazy, but I'm thinking, don't let the croc get away. Don't let the croc get away.
Okay, let's get to shore.
Now we have to drag him across the river to get to a safe area where we can drag him onto land. It's not safe here. There's crocodiles everywhere.
Yep. Ready, ready?
Come on, ready.
Right.
1, 2, 3. This thing is a
beast. It is huge. It weighs a ton. I don't want to hurt the animal, but we got to get him on. We got to get him secured so that he doesn't hurt himself. Then we can take the measurements, the scute samples, and tag this guy and get him back into the water.
Yeah, jump on anyone else. Jump on. Right. 1, 2, 3. Might need more hands if anybody can.
Oh, man. How awesome is this?
Not too bad,
Holy shit.
Good Saturday morning.
Not too shabby.
Mark. We got one, Mark.
Yeah.
Yes, thank bloody goodness.
Look at this. Yeah. You're good. You're good. Boy. So now we're taking all the measurements.
4.37.
He's a big one. 4.3 meters. That's right. So we're going to tag him. And that way, in the future, when he's caught, not only can we get the GPS coordinates of where we caught him and where it ends up moving, but also we can re-measure it and see what the growth rates are.
These three, we don't do anything on it.
Okay.
They're basically zero. So we're going to put a tag through there.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to drill 3 holes just to secure that cattle tag. So here we go. All right, so now what we're doing is we're just going to take some scute samples for toxicology. What we're doing is we're doing the 1 and the 4 scute right here. And basically all we're doing is just taking off this right here to send in. We're going to give it a little antiseptic spray. Now, crocodiles have amazing healing powers, and although this looks a little bit bad, it's very important to understand the toxins that are going on in this area to help preserve other crocodiles. So, although it looks a little brutal, trust me, it'll heal very quickly. So, this is a necessary part of science. Hang on a second, I want to make sure we've got everything. Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to call it, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, jump. Hang on. Come on. Get back in the way. You got it. Beer time. Woo! Part of my trip to Africa is not only to experience amazing wildlife, but also get to see the culture. So we head deep into Ndumu, and we meet up with a Zulu tribe that are willing to perform an ancient Zulu dance. This story is about their battles with the French and how their ancestors prepared for war. It was truly amazing. This made me feel closer to what the real South Africa used to be like. But we have a lot to do, so I say my goodbyes and we get back on the road. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to stop at one of these roadside souvenir shops. These are true African handmade souvenirs. Just look like him?
Like this man, yes.
Okay, I'll buy this for him.
No problem, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
set this one aside.
For you?
Yes, we'll set this aside, but we'll buy more too.
Okay.
Of course, they're going after people like me, but the mamas that were selling them sure were full of energy and invited me in for a little fun and a little dancing. Come. I've traveled the globe, but there are certain places that really touch you spiritually. My trip to South Africa was certainly one of those experiences. The wildlife I met, the people I encountered, the way culture embraces their animals. This land is truly something that I'll never get out of my skin. There's a saying that says once you touch your foot on the continent of Africa, you can never get the dust off your shoes, and I can't agree with that more.